get ready, tune in, unwind. It's the Smoke World Podcast. It's time to talk about what's happening, baby. So run, don't crawl. It's the Smoke World Podcast. It's time to think, so go ahead and get yourself a smooth drink. It's the Smoke World Podcast. Light up your cigar, put your feet up, and don't go too far. So tune in weekly in your car, at home, or on your phone, and listen in the Smoke World Podcast, hosted by Stone.
Yeah, hosted by Stone. Shout out to Cold Brew on the music side, putting things together. What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Smoke World. I'm your host, Stone, so go grab that stick, go grab a glass, whatever you're drinking. Let's sit back and have a conversation. Speaking of conversations, me and Sketch is sitting in the lounge, freezing. Lounge owners, word of advice: get some fucking heat in your lounge. Don't do us like that. If you ain't got no heat, close that mother down, okay? That's just a courtesy. That's all. Just a PSA. If you got no heat in your lounge, you can't have like a couple space heaters and they not working. They're not heating up the lounge. We're freezing. But nonetheless, sit back, relax, grab your stick, stay warm because it's been cold on this East Coast. Get something nice and warm. Well, take that any way you want. Sketches is back in the building. Happy New Year, brother.
You got a mic warmer? This mic is cold.
That's what happened when you're live. Well,
Damn.
let's talk about
This
that.
mic is cold.
Why is it cold? We're live at the lounge again, and you have a cold mic, so that tells me maybe there's no heat in the facility. We are looking at space.
You got somebody with a double fat goose. I haven't seen a double fat goose.
Why is he sitting in the cigar lounge?
With a double fat goose? Triple fat.
So that tells me
Triple fat.
that's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue, man. So what's up, man? You've been you was outside the country. You spent the New Year.
Yeah, I was in Belize. I was hanging out with Dr. Sebi's clan, his people.
Well, you might have to tell people who Dr. Selby is.
Everybody know who Dr. Sebi
No, they
is.
don't. No, they don't. You'd be surprised.
You're right. Because
Yeah,
a lot of people didn't know what a Kegel was.
How's that been going? So first of all, let's get carried away. So tell us who the doctors. You say Sebi or Selby?
Dr. Sebi.
Sebi.
So Dr. Sebi is he's a Garifuna. A Garifuna is the
That's a big word, brother. That's a big word for public school cats. But proceed.
It's just a tribe of people, you know.
Okay.
Africans, original Africans that came over. They went to St. Vincent, they got exiled, and the British and all this other stuff. Well, they like the people of the sea. They were the protector of the sea. So they got all types of remedies. And right now, they still can't find a Garifuna with cancer.
Really?
Right.
Interesting.
So, you know, Dr. Sebi, he's been working on different things and fought the government, the Supreme Court, saying that he cured cancer and he had a cure for HIV and herpes. Won the case, won the Supreme Court, and they killed him in Honduras.
Yeah, that's an interesting story there. So
I had the pleasure of working with his wife out in Brooklyn.
Because you said the wife was really the kind of like
his
brain
wife was
behind
she was
the operations.
he was the engineer. He was the engineer.
Okay.
So you know how to manipulate and conjure.
Is that a good thing? I mean, the way you're saying it, I'm
I
not
guess
sure.
it's a good thing.
Because he was the face.
Right. He also had his own camp. He had his own village where he would go there, and you would go there, and you have a certain disease, and it would disappear by the time you leave. Lisa Left Eye. That's where she was at. She was with Dr. Sebi in his camp.
You know, me and her went to school together, and I think she was troubled back then. Interesting story. Not really. When it came to relationships, because she played the piano. So a lot of folks don't know that. She could play. She was a piano player. And we went to school together. Olney High School. This is in Philly. And like every day she would come depressed. And I had another buddy, his name was Omar. And she didn't want to talk in front of Omar. So I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? She's like, I'll tell you if Omar leave the room. So we'd go back into the music room where the pianos were at, because we had like 5 different music rooms, and each room had a piano. And it was always...
You had 5 different music rooms? What kind of school? You went to School of Arts?
No, this was a music room. Yeah, surprisingly, you're right. That don't exist
You had
anymore.
books in there?
Mind your business. Yes, absolutely we did.
Some bad, you know, we got bad kids. You go over and play the drums, son. You're gonna graduate. You're gonna be something when you grow up.
I don't like how you're trying to paint this picture. That's number one.
Come on, 5, 6 music rooms. Come on.
Yes, and not including the main music room, which is about bigger than this.
What you had, like
combination.
four periods of music, 2 periods of lunch, and then gym.
Wow. Wow. Coming from a New York, Brooklyn's talking major shit
Damn.
about us.
You have math for reading?
Every now and then. Every now and then.
Every now and
Who
then.
needs that? Who needs that?
At the end of the day, like,
You know what I mean?
am I really using earth science?
Right.
Nobody's
Social-
using this stuff.
algebra, calculus. I'm not
History, nobody cares.
social science. We did have that. Civics. They don't teach you any of that anymore. But she would come in and she would be upset like every day. And I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? Every day was about her boyfriend or something relationship wise. So she was troubled at an early age in
Well, she
relationships.
was definitely spunky. Definitely spunky.
But she was, she had little tiny hands. Her hands, literally, when I say her fingers was about that
Well,
big.
she was small frame.
She was very little cute girl, and she was talented, and she can play the piano. But just wanted to I'll proceed with your story.
That's crazy.
So,
though.
yeah,
So she goes there and
So how was the trip? At least it was good.
oh, it's a great trip.
How about smoking? I mean,
They don't do cigars in Belize. They don't. They just they assemble in Belize, but they don't grow in Belize. They don't have the grounds for it.
So were you able to get and smoke cigars?
Yeah, they have some in San Pedro. They have 2 nice cigar lounges down there. But like I said, they assemble down there, and the price was over the top.
Robbery, homicide.
Yeah, robbery, homicide. You know, I bought 2 just to show them some love and get
So
some
when you say
information.
robbery, homicide, what we talking about? $20 or something for
Yeah,
a basic
20
stick?
yeah,
that cost
basic, yeah.
$8 to $10.
And it was one of their sticks. So you be like, what the fuck is this?
Okay, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, no, this is dup. Yeah, man, you don't even have a ground for cigars. How you gonna tell me these?
Roll of banana leaves and 10 your cigars.
Exactly.
Okay, so you had a good time.
We had a great time.
Oh, that's
Great
lovely.
time.
Would you recommend visiting Belize?
If you like a beach, that's not a beachy place to go because it's a man-made beach.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's a man-made beach.
How was the weather?
The weather was like high 70s, low 80s. So
Okay.
it wasn't a nice frolicking place to go for. It's a nice place if you would just want to,
Just chill,
just
relax.
chill and
Old
you can sit
people
on the
style.
beach, but you can't,
You ain't really mess with the
And if
water.
you're a snorkeler, it's one of the best snorkeling places to go in the world.
Do you snorkel?
No.
Okay.
So I don't do anything dangerous.
Do you know how to swim?
Yeah, I know how to swim, but
Okay.
I snorkel, but it got to be like goldfish, frogs, tadpoles.
Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
But you're in the water. It's always crazy. It's a chance you take.
No, there's actually places where it's fenced in, where you only
Okay.
certain things can make it in.
That makes sense. Okay. I can rock with that. So you did get cigars. You smoked a little bit.
Ate the food. The Gariffinas, they make this thing called machuca. Oh my gosh, delicious.
What is that?
It's like a lobster, fish. It's like a coconut cream sauce. It's delicious.
What does it serve with?
It's served with like
Ice or something?
it's a hot soup.
Oh, it's a
So
soup.
like a seafood soup, yeah.
Seafood soup. Oh,
And the way they make it, the process is crazy.
really? Mm-hmm. You get to see all that?
Yeah, good to see all that. Cause it take about an hour.
Oh, damn.
You gotta wait for an hour because everything is fresh. Everything is fresh in Belize. Everything is fresh. They don't pre-cut tomatoes. Nothing is pre-cut there. Everything is all fresh. You pick your fish, whatever you want to pick your fish. You pick you give it to them. You put it on the plate. You pay for it, and they chop it up right and cook it right there.
So don't be hungry.
You can't be hungry.
Hour. What's the
Easy
price?
hour.
What's the pricing? Of these?
Half the price of here.
Oh, okay, so the pricing was decent when it came to food.
Yeah.
Cigars, they rob you, but the food was decent and price
Yeah,
was right.
Price is real good.
Oh, lovely.
You can't ride a car. So everything is golf cart. So you got to ride in a golf cart.
Something you rent? Or,
Yeah, you got to rent a golf cart.
What kind of
Think
price?
It's like $50 a day.
Oh, okay.
$50 a day.
So nobody can take you around for a cheaper price.
Nah,
It's not worth it.
Nah, it's not worth it. Just get in a golf cart.
Everything's close by, obviously. So,
Within 2 hours away.
huh?
You got people be driving those golf carts like it's nothing.
What happened to the car for a breakdown? Who are you supposed to call?
That renting company and they come
How you call them? Well,
with your cell phone.
okay.
Your cell phone works there. GPS works there.
No
and
roaming
everything.
fees, nothing like that. Not the
Nah,
bucket
no
shop.
roaming fee.
Just
No.
basic.
WhatsApp. Everything's WhatsApp.
Oh, WhatsApp. See, that's see, that ain't okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So 2025 has been getting. It's been all kind of news going on, man. You missed. Well, good thing you kind of missed everything because I don't think you were here for the New Orleans or the Vegas scenario, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch the news. I didn't want to watch.
No, that's
the news.
good.
So I'm gonna wait till I come back to New York to watch the news.
Speaking of New Orleans, the PCA is coming up, and it's going to be in New Orleans this year.
But they got the protocol, so I'd probably definitely go now.
Yeah, April 11th through the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. They will have the Premium Cigar Association will be having their annual cigar festivities.
You doing Airbnb or hotel?
I'm thinking about. I'm debating because I want to look and see what's close to the convention center, and I'm trying to pinpoint if I do Airbnb. I want to be close. I don't have to be worried about getting a taxi half an hour away and all that Uber and all that kind of stuff.
20 minutes Uber is good, right?
That ain't bad, but I'd rather be closer than that. If I could
Closer
walk,
than that?
if at all possible, I'd rather be in walking distance if I can, because most of the things you don't need to go see.
Right.
Every now and then you want to splurge out and grab something, grab a
Yeah, because
Uber.
everything's right there. Everything's right
Yeah,
there.
everything's going to be at the convention center or across the street. And my understanding, we had a meeting, we being the PCA with the media, several weeks ago. They kind of explained it's going to be interesting this year. They're going to have a comedian. So right across the street from the convention center is my understanding. They have a facility that they're going to be kind of hosting everything.
What hotel are they using?
They have a few that you go.
A
Once
few?
you go to the PCA site, again, unfortunately, it's not open to the public. Only open to the vendors and cigar industry. So the regular consumer, unfortunately, won't be able to go unless you have a connect with some lounges where they get passes.
And they probably still making changes because of what just happened. They probably still making different changes because of what happened.
Who, the PCA or
Yeah,
the
the
New
PCA.
Orleans? I don't think so. I don't think any. I think everything they have is already locked in.
Locked in?
They're locked in with it, but they got. Like I said, I was surprised they're going to have a comedian this year. I'm like, a comedian? Okay, that's going to be different. So the night of the United, it's going to be hosting that night for the first night across the street from the convention center with a comedian. And New Orleans, is my understanding, is excited about having this come down. They're opening up the streets. They're opening up warehouses. You got to remember, Vegas, you can smoke everywhere in Vegas.
Right.
New Orleans don't have that rule. But they're more open. And they're going to be more welcoming to the PCA.
Smoking inside.
Yeah, smoking inside. They got a warehouse they supposedly going to open up. So everyone, you got to figure it's like thousands of people who are going to be coming down there. So they're a little bit more aware of the economic
Do you think
impact
it's
that will
do you
take
think it's a
place in New Orleans.
possibility that they might have more people than they had in Vegas because of where it's located at? Because now you got the Floridians coming down, which is a large populated. They smoke some cigars and they'll come up.
Well, you got to remember, this is only for the industry. So those people, they came from all over the world. People come from all over. You got to figure this is the largest cigar event globally, period.
Right.
PCA. So now I wouldn't say
You
that.
don't think it's gonna be larger?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. Because it is a little closer for most folks. Some of the folks coming from the West Coast and you coming from international.
Right.
It didn't matter. But economically, this should be a little bit less expensive because Vegas is high. And Vegas don't give a damn. Vegas has conferences and conventions every day. And the price in Vegas is Vegas prices. So assuming the food's going to be better.
The nightlife is better.
Yeah, nightlife.
And the food, you can't beat that.
Not the food. So I'm thinking it's going to be a little less expensive. And for
Matter
me,
of fact, we got to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go on the web. I'm gonna go on the web tonight and try to find something, man. I want to lock this in.
yeah, and you got to figure flight time for me. Vegas is 5 hours for me. So go to
To drive?
No, flight. It's a 5-hour flight from PHL Philly to go to Vegas.
Okay.
5 hours. New Orleans, we're looking at like 3-hour flight. So that's less time sitting on that damn plane. Like I need to be doing all that. So I'm happy about that. I'm excited about that. That's jumping off this year. Been talking to some different lounges. Some understanding, some different, some changes are taking place, good or bad. That's what they claim. Some of these lounges, they're going to change. They didn't give me any definition of what change meant. But they're claiming that maybe this place can change and get some heat. Maybe we could start that in 2025.
Right.
Because,
Or some medical coverage for
for people who are going to catch a cold.
Yeah,
because we're sitting here. What's the temperature in here? We're sitting here right
Yeah,
now
hot.
with coats.
What,
Like 50 degrees in here, maybe, if that. We got a brother sitting over there with a hat and a super winter coat.
They used to have
Smoke
smoking
cigars.
blankets here.
I love it.
Smoking blankets.
Not a smoking jacket, but a
Smoking blanket.
You might be onto something. How's that? Talk to me. I might be
A smoking blanket. You know, something that
Is it
you.
electrical, battery operated. Is it warm?
No, it's one of those
Like a little snuggie.
No, those one they give the ambulance. Like they
No. I thought you was gonna make it something fancy. I can rock with that. That could be a hot idea.
No, because the one that they give in the hospital is supposed to be it's sanitized, so you can, you ain't got to worry about the being disease and mold getting on it and everything.
But you might be on to something. A smoking blanket instead of a smoking jacket. A smoking blanket. You wrap the blanket around you.
Yeah, it's like silver. It's the silver ones they give out.
Yeah, but I mean, you can sit in your house with a smoking.
Are you kidding?
Blanket.
That's a good blanket.
It got to be fire resistant, fire retardant. So you guys like to drop a lot of ashes on yourself.
I think it is. I think that's why they came up with this stupid blanket.
Stupid blanket.
Yeah, you don't see the people every time we go to an emergency place. They get what these blankets, man. Remind me of these little those blankets they get to the babies. Everybody got the same blankets all over the United States.
No, I feel you on that, but I'm thinking let's go back to your idea of a smoking blanket. Instead of a smoking jacket, a smoking blanket. Can I rock with that?
Well, they got fire retardant blankets.
Yeah, but I'm talking about something specifically designed for the smoker, like a smoker's jacket. With your name.
Like a smoking snuggie.
That's what I'm saying.
A fire retardant smoking snuggie.
Yo, listen. It sounds crazy, but I'm thinking I'm gonna put that together. Everybody's sleeping in there. I guess it's cold when you get your jacket on. You get a little certain kind of heat back.
It might be a little hypothermia too.
Could be. His hands are in his pocket. This is not a good setup, brother. Yeah. We're sitting in a lounge, and it's about maybe 50 degrees in the smoking section. 50 may be giving him a bonus. I don't know if it's even 50 degrees.
I was told, I don't know what it was meant, but they said that the cigar actually burned better in cold weather.
Who told you that? Nah, you junk cracking.
They said the crisper the air is, they said the better the cigar burns.
Who told you that? Where you read this at, man?
That's what they said.
Who's that? You sound like Trump.
That's what they said. They said when you smoke when there's a lot of humidity, that the cigar don't burn as good. That's why when you ever smoke a cigar next to the beach, that shit suck.
But there's a lot of moisture.
That's what I'm saying, humidity.
But I mean, I don't want to be cold. This ain't no cigarette. I mean, a cigar, you want to sit back and enjoy it, relax. I can't relax if my hands is frozen. I got to take one hand, put it in the pocket, just keep switching hands, and I'm holding my hand over the cigar to keep heat. It's not a good look, man.
It's not.
That's not a good look.
I actually came here to get some heat.
Well, obviously, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
See what I wore? I thought.
Yeah, you thought. Yeah, you thought it was gonna be warm in here. That's why they got space heaters. I don't know if this is even regulation. This is not to be talking bad. We didn't name the place, but I'm not gonna put no names. Yeah. We're not gonna put no names
That's
out
right.
there. But it's cold in here, man.
Yeah,
it's cold.
Keep the germs down.
It's cold. Amazon Basin this month coming back out, folks. I told the folks that on the last episode, but the Amazon Basin, yes, is back for everybody. The Basin was being.
He said the last time for everybody.
Whoa, here's the gangster.
And then these knucklehead dealers tuck them all.
Yeah, and the price. I'm thinking, what's the price point going to be on them babies? $17. That's not smoke war prices. That's up there. They're getting close to these Davidoff prices. That's a problem. But
everybody keeps saying it's a great cigar. It's the best cigar, and they hear that.
Yeah, supply and demand, buddy.
You start talking about these factory smokes, man. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, you got a point.
Next year they're gonna go up $1, and then they're gonna keep going up $1.
I don't think it would take even a year if somebody came out. So let's think about that. Is there a difference between a content creator and an influencer? I would say yes.
I was just talking about that. We were just talking about that.
So I would say influencer, bringing that up as an example, a factory smoke. You get an influencer to say, hey, this is the best cigar ever. You could change the game. Now, real cigar smokers say, oh, come on with the bull. That's some bullshit. But for those who really don't know, they be willing to try. Oh, look, I saw such and such. They said this is the banging cigar. We need to, where these Jones at?
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to that question, in your mind, is there a difference between a content creator and an influencer?
Yes.
What is the difference to you?
So I think the content creator is the one that can think out of the box, but that influence would take that box and make more boxes out of that. They make more boxes. I'm like, oh man, that's. But they'll take us. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna do something. That's like when somebody said something about the Kegel. and I became the spokesperson for the app and the device, I said, you know what? I'm going to think out of the box. I'm going to buy my own devices, and I'm going to sell it myself.
Again, you might have to refresh people on what the Kegel is all about. You making these assumptions that everybody listening
Kegel?
knows. Yeah, they need to know. Like, what is he even talking about? Some people
What
are saying
the women know. The women know.
well, maybe so.
Sisters
But
of the Leave know what I'm talking about.
we have men and women who listen to the podcast, so we want to kind of make sure we educate all of the audience. I know we might have talked about.
Well, you're right. A lot of people don't even know what a pelvis is and what it does,
Absolutely.
and how important the pelvis is to a man. And only if people knew that the pelvis is very, very important for the man. It's like a woman's thyroid. Very important.
Yeah. A little different.
That's why
from
you ever
man to
notice
male, female.
That's why we always having peeing problems. We have peeing problems because we don't have a strong pelvis.
Well, some folks don't know about the pelvis. They just know about when they're doing the thing. They think.
Well, that's part of it. A lot of people got ED because your pelvis is weak.
They like, yo, I'm stroking. I'm hitting this thing.
Right.
I'm going in hard with my
So
pelvis.
you got
Blue chew.
So you got to actually stroke without stroking. So you actually got to do the movements without using your hands. Nasty, you think I got out together. Not using your hands and using that muscle that's inside your underneath the duodenum and your pelvis, and you. It's like you peeing, trying to pee. Stop. Do that for 15
For real.
minutes.
Let's see what you got.
15 minutes a day. You'd be surprised when you get to my age and you be like, yo, I ain't got to pee that much. You got people that keep going to the bathroom. You got to go to the bathroom 9 times a day. You have a bad pelvis.
What if you just drink a lot of coffee?
What?
What if you just drink a lot of coffee?
Then your pelvis is strong enough to hold that water.
No, I'm saying you're saying if they go to the bathroom 9 times a day.
Because your pelvis is weak, so it can't hold the water. If your pelvis is strong, it's like a dam.
We don't want to hold. If you got to take a dump, you want to go. You
Right,
want to hold it.
Right, but you're trying to tell me that you can't hold 4 ounces of coffee.
It ain't about holding it. If you got to take a piss.
That's what's happening.
But coffee is diuretic. It makes you piss. Certain things.
Not
make you
4
piss.
ounces. Not 4 ounces.
Well, who drinks 4 ounces of coffee?
6
That's a
ounces.
shot.
6 ounces.
Normally, I think it's like 8 ounces. Then maybe
You shouldn't have to go to the bathroom after 8 ounces of
24.
coffee. You shouldn't have to go to the bathroom after 8 ounces of coffee.
It's a diuretic. It makes you piss.
But it's only 8 ounces
But it's made to make you piss. Some people take a dump
because
of
they
coffee.
have a weak pelvis.
So with those folks who drink coffee got to take a shit, what do they have?
What?
People who drink coffee sometimes. I can't drink.
Oh,
the
they
coffee.
get the runs.
Yeah,
Because they put the milk in it.
Nah, some people just can't drink the coffee, but coffee is a diuretic. It makes you, make you piss.
Yeah, it does.
Like beer, man. If I drink beer, bro, I'm pissing.
How many beers you got? How many beers?
Don't matter. Beers and me.
You
Just
drink one beer, you got to go to the bathroom. Right after that one beer, you got a weak pelvis.
Well, man, maybe I can't say I don't. I'm not gonna argue that because I don't know.
You got a weak pelvis.
So I need your machine.
Yes, you need. It's a muscle.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
It's
All my muscles is weak right now. I ain't been working out, drinking no milk, so I don't get no fight no time soon.
So ED comes from weak pelvis. Your pelvis done hit the rock bottom, done hit the floor. So now you don't have that power of stroking. So now you got to increase the heart blood, your heart, and then help it the other way. So if you can just
and this device kind of helps build that muscle
Yes,
back up.
right.
It strengthens that muscle as if you were doing physical working
Right.
out at the gym
for
with
that stroking action.
for the stroking action.
Stroking action, yeah.
Oh yeah, ladies, you better listen.
Because
up.
you use your pelvis for stroking and having sex. Same thing with the women. Women too, the same thing. When they push out a baby, they use the same muscle.
They ain't pushing out babies every week,
What?
huh? What?
They have menstruation, so their pelvis is
What
always.
happens when they get past menopause? They ain't got nothing going on. They just got.
It's
you know
too
what I mean?
late. It's too late.
Whoa, wait a minute. So maybe too late for the men. After you get a certain age, 50, they all start problems with ED. Maybe it's too late for them too. Like, bro, just
No,
put
because
that away.
we still got a
Just stick that
stroke.
up. This-
We still got a stroke. They ain't got to push out that baby.
They ain't pushing no baby at 50 either. Let's get menopausal. So I don't know about
But
this argument.
their pelvis is already strong. Women have strong pelvises
It
because
used to be back when they was young.
Damn.
It's like everybody, the extended warranty runs out, brother. Boom. Now you old 50.
I'm not gonna
men
lie, I just-
got ED problems.
I just
Women
found
got
out
dropped.
last year that I didn't know that if 35 year was the cutoff. I didn't even knew that.
Extended warranty run out. At 40, really.
No, it's 35.
I'm saying for your eyes start 40
No,
years old.
I'm talking about like babies. You can't after 35 years old.
They got a few record breakers out there. Few of them. I wouldn't recommend it.
But I thought having a baby at 38 was simple. No, it's almost.
Yeah, rightfully so.
That's crazy.
Your extended warranty has ran out. Having a baby.
So women only have certain many eggs. Once them eggs is gone, that's it. Not like us. We can keep doing sperm, keep doing it. They have a certain many eggs from day one since they born until they die. They get a certain many eggs, and once them eggs are all gone,
thanks for coming out.
No more eggs. Nothing.
Bam.
So they're saying now to try to keep your eggs, store your eggs at the age of 33. So if you ain't got your eggs at 33 saved, man, forget about it.
I think that's rightfully so. I think that's good because and
it's not cheap.
It's a lot of old dads,
and it's not cheap to store eggs. And now you got to store those eggs.
Of course,
the procedure is expensive.
All that,
and insurance ain't covering it. So that's all out of pocket.
In vitro.
That's expensive.
I want to talk about the
Trump.
No, forget. I mean, I know that's your favorite subject. Trump that's your bull. He doing a lot of crazy stuff too. So now, like I said, I think Trump may help the cigar industry because they cutting all kind of regulations. This gonna be a straight cut regulated society. Where you want to drill some oil, you want to dig in the backyard. You want to build something in the ocean. They gonna say, yeah, we can do that. So for the cigar industry, you got to figure when he was in office last time, he did change the regulations a little bit. Where now cats is smoking in the Capitol. To this day, they can smoke in the office. So the regulations that will be cut may work out in favor. The cigar industry may work out.
I think a lot of bullshit ass is going to change. A lot of the. I think it will. Just because it was Democratic, he's going to switch it.
For example, you can think of anything off the top of your head.
Let me see.
For example, he's taking Greenland and the Panama Canal. No,
I'm talking about like education.
Education.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
education. I was real big on education. I believe that racism is taught in this country.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wants to get rid of that.
Okay.
He wants to get rid of the history of.
Of course. Right.
The study of any type of history.
Interesting. Yes.
So
I don't know. When I was a kid,
I was one.
This is part of history.
But I didn't know what racism was until I was 8 years old.
I was definitely taught. I don't know necessarily racism in the sense of that you're sharing the information, but
I didn't know it existed until I was 8 years old. Until I saw Roots.
Okay.
And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
So you saw Roots. Wow.
Now I gave them the power. Before that, I thought they were just regular, just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing in the sandbox and playing around with them and trading dolls and stuff like that, and Star Wars action figures and stuff like that. Hey, once I saw Roots, I'm like, you can have my action figure.
Oh wow, you gave it up.
Don't take me back to the mainland.
I like it here.
I like it.
I like my squirrel nuts and Mike and Ike's.
And then after that, it was a certain fear that I had.
Interesting.
I got fear. And before that, I didn't have a fear. I thought everybody was equal. And I was like, oh, shit. What the... Whoa.
Now, did you experience more racism as you got
stop
older?
Playing, man.
As you got older?
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
After that, it got worse. Every year, it got worse and worse and worse. And worse. Because now I'm looking at it. Now I can see it. Now I can feel it. Now I know what it was. Now, if you don't teach it...
But I think
an example.
Taught at home.
No, how we gonna teach that at home?
Huh?
My mother didn't say, hey.
On your side. But I'm saying for the other side. You're speaking from a perspective being a black person.
Right.
So I'm saying from the other side, you're saying, okay, it's taught. And I'm saying it's some of those negative ideologies taught at home.
On their side.
Right. Where you're saying you saw a movie and said, whoa, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you didn't have a problem with, hey, Everybody's my friend.
So I spoke to a couple, because that's what when I go on vacation and I ask the question. I'm not gonna lie. When I start
That's
going,
good. The conversation
and I go out and I talk, and I'll be sitting down drinking, and some lily white couple from North Dakota, and I ask them, I said, how many black people you got in your and I ask these questions.
Yeah, that's not wrong with that.
We don't have no black people.
No, that's very true. A lot of
So I'm
people.
like, well, so I'll go. So, am I your first black couple that you talk to? She says, I'm not gonna lie. She says, yeah, we don't have black people where I'm from. So I said, what makes you just want to conversate and talk to me? Your kids are talking to me. She says, yeah, because I home trained them, so they don't watch TV. I don't treat them like racist. I don't let them get involved with all of that stuff. And the kids were talking to me like it wasn't nothing. And I was the first black couple that they talked to
in America.
No, we was in Belize.
But I'm just saying,
on my
this
vacation.
is based, again, you just so happen to be in Belize, but if you had went to North Dakota, it would be in America that they never had any experience or conversation with a black person.
So they didn't have the hatred because they didn't watch the TV. They didn't get involved with the antics.
Well, somewhere.
But he said there is KKK over there, and they knew that KKK was bad, and they knew it was bad.
They didn't embrace it.
They didn't embrace it. No.
So their parents didn't teach them that. So that's the thing. So this history that you mentioned that Trump is trying to get rid of, I don't know.
It might have a effect that might be beneficial for us.
I don't know.
I think it might be beneficial. I think it is. I think it will be.
I don't know. I'm torn on that. I don't know about that part. It's all part of history. So to erase the history, basically, let's just erase it.
Germany did it.
Germany
did it.
They didn't erase the history.
They say did.
Not at all.
You can't. It's illegal.
That's my whole point. But they understand it existed, and we're not gonna have it again.
No, a lot of them don't.
They know. No. I could guarantee you, any German you go over to Germany, I mean, they know about Hitler.
Yeah, they heard of him. They heard of him.
Of course, and they understood the things he did.
They heard of him.
Despicable things that he did.
Right.
And they said, listen, we won't tolerate this racism. They won't tolerate it.
It's more than tolerate. It's a law. But it's a law.
That's not what America is going toward as far as tolerating. Oh, we won't tolerate racism. It's more so this: you shut your mouth. We still running things. We want to make America great again. When was it great? To whom you may ask that question, present that question to. Who was America great for to make it great again? He told me he got to go back to the 1700s to get laws. To the 1700s? What? Are we serious? Are we gaslighting people to tell folks that we got to go back to the 1700s to go find laws from the 1700s to implement now in 2025?
But now, if you go back to the 1700s, guess who was the Republicans? We were.
But where were we at? We didn't have no power. We didn't have no say. We had no voice.
We had the White Wall Street, Black Wall Street. They had
that wasn't in the 1700s. No way. I understand what you're trying to say, but that wasn't in the 1700s.
It was late 1700s, wasn't it?
No, sir. That was in the early 1900s. Sir.
No. I'm talking about the original Black Wall Street.
Yeah, that wasn't in the 1700s, sir. I mean, you're going way back. No, sir.
It was prior to the KKK. KKK came out in the 1800s.
Okay, sir. I mean,
so prior to the KKK, it was the Republicans were black.
Yes, I understand that part, but again,
but it was black for like 80 years. So you go back, you're looking at early 1800s. Early 1800s.
Sir, I'm going to have to pull up my phone.
Early 1800s.
Okay, what's your question? What is your question?
I'm saying that if you go back to he said the early 1700s or the late 1700s.
He's going to the 1700s to find some kind of law. Now, I don't recall what this law was, but he wants to go back, Trump, to some laws from the 1700s to implement in 2025.
I'm going to phone a friend. What do you got on that the 1700s? You heard about anything about that?
So, but go back to your point as far as you think this would be better, the fact that we're not teaching history. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I think history is important to be taught so you understand where you're coming from, so you don't have to repeat it again.
But that's what they're telling us, that they said so you don't repeat it.
Absolutely.
I don't. That's not. That's I don't understand. They teaching us these things, and we're repeating it.
Why is that?
Because it doesn't work. That's why you shouldn't teach it.
Nah, I'm totally against that.
You shouldn't teach it.
So you shouldn't. So you shouldn't know anything. Like you said, you came in early and said your grandfather was. You found out your great grandfather was a slave.
Right.
It's history. You found out that your grandmother was a store owner and blah blah blah. That's history. That's all part of history. It could be positive or negative, but it's part of history. I think history is important. Hey, your father, father was such and such.
But we're not going to go back to slavery, so why teach it?
Well, I hope not.
Because you're going to always put the stigma of white people are bad, black people are slaves.
Oh, that's not what it's about. I
but
disagree with that.
that's the black and white picture of it.
Well, that was just facts. That was facts. That's history. It's not. There's nobody saying that white people. That's just somebody the white people told us. Oh, when you say that white people were slave owners, Johnny doesn't feel good about that. Just because they don't feel good, that don't mean I don't feel good. I don't want to learn the calculus. I don't want to learn algebra. I didn't feel good about learning that.
They shouldn't have to pay for what
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, but I don't think it should be erased. That we should erase everything, and that we all on the
so then why are we getting rid of these
that's $1 million question.
That's part of the getting erasing the history. Starting from scratch.
No, I ain't starting from scratch. It's just the fact that we're not going to honor these people.
Why we can't start from scratch?
I don't have a problem starting from scratch, but I don't need to honor these cats. I don't need to say I have any statue to remind me that he was a slave. He was the biggest slave owner, so I need a statue of him. What? And these folks was the goddamn treasonous people of the U.S., the Confederate.
So it's the same.
They were the traitors.
It's the same thing when somebody
do
something violent, we don't say their names. It's history, right?
But
why are we not saying their names?
We're not building statues of them either. They put statues up, so you don't get what's the cat? Just name a serial killer. You could say there's what's his name? The Scorpio guy,
Thomas, Zodiac killer.
Any of those guys. We ain't built no statue saying let's build a statue. He was a good killer. He killed 20 people. He was good. Put a statue in New York, right in the park, Central Park. Beautiful place for it. So that's what I'm saying.
But these people are glorified. They're honored and glorified. People are watching Netflix. It was one of the most watched Netflix special was this guy. Right. Why are we giving him that power? They're still giving him power.
They're sharing the story.
So none of these shows should be aired.
I don't know about that. I think it's sharing information.
Giving people ideas. That's what you did.
Well,
That's what you did.
The idea is always going to be there. Now you got copycatters. There's always a thing about copycat. You always hear about something happening with terrorist attack. Right. Are there going to be any copycats? But to say now we don't need to teach it, we need to erase it and pretend that it never existed. And now,
well, I'm saying if you want to find out, you can go to the archives. You do your own research.
Well, most people got to do that anyway because school don't teach you but so much. School really never.
They teach you racism.
Okay.
They teach us that the white people took from the Indians. So what do you think the Indians going to feel when they grow up? They're going to always have that hatred, and we need to get rid of that.
Well, their parents probably already told them that. No. So that's what I said. So it's not necessarily being taught. That's if it's being taught in school, whether it's being taught at the home. This is our history. Sometimes you got to watch it. This dog over there across the street like to bite people. Be careful. He vicious. It's a mean dog that's over the Michi over there, that little dog over there that looks so cute. He's a biter.
So here's the thing about
he's a biter. So you need to be careful.
So I lived in Germany, right? I lived in Germany for 3.5 years. They don't teach anything that Hitler did. You have to go and find it on your own.
Right. Right. That's cool.
So the racism over in Germany, nowhere near. What I mean, nowhere near United States.
Oh, I could agree. Yeah.
You know why? They erased that history and made it a law to even
I don't know if
practice.
I would agree with the word erase.
They erased it.
I think
they don't teach it. You can't podcast about it. You can't put YouTube videos about it. You can't have meetings about it.
I think they learned from it and said, yo, this would never be tolerated
again. Why we
again.
Can't do that?
$1 million question.
You said what? You can't put flyers up, meetings.
None of that.
Nazi flag.
Right.
Skinhead stuff.
It's zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance.
We don't have that over here. It's okay to do all that crazy stuff. To have people doing KKK marches to this day. If that was the same scenario, you can't march out here talking about you KKK and white power and all that. So I would agree if they went that direction, say we're not going to tolerate zero tolerance on racism. That's not where they're going with this. That's not the argument. That's not even the conversation. If they were going that direction, I would say I'm down with it. But
I just hope that's the evil twist that we can get from this, because hopefully we can get something out of everything that comes out of this.
I mean, I'm glad you're optimistic, but I just don't see it. That's not their goal. That's not their goal. Their goal is basically like, y'all need to go back in your place. You need to get back in your place.
Uh-oh.
That's my feeling.
All right.
My man, what's up,
Man.
bro? What's good?
What's going on, man?
What's happening?
Because I love what they did in Germany. You know, I was scared because I didn't even know they had they erased that part of the history.
That's what I'm saying. You keep saying erase. I don't know if I like that word.
Like,
I think they obviously know what happened. But now they have zero tolerance to make sure it never
when I went to
happens
Germany,
again.
I heard and saw no Hitler rhetoric
And you would never do it, and you would never see it.
or racism.
Okay, I'm with that.
So I don't know what they did, how they hide it, how they hid it. Why we can't do the same thing?
If that was the goal and objective here in America, I will be with it. But that's not what. Basically, in my opinion, this is only my opinion on Smoke World Podcast. That is not the objective of why they are doing what they're doing here. It's basically trying to say, to me, in my opinion, again, that stay in your goddamn place, because they're saying now that a certain demographic of people are being ostracized. They're now being considered the minority, and we're not getting what we're supposed to get because these other people are getting the benefit that we were supposed to get, that we've been getting for the last several hundred years. We're not getting that anymore. It seems like these other folks are taking over and taking our jobs. It shouldn't be the case.
Well,
like,
it does look like, you're right. It does like the Democrats
even playing field.
It does look like the Democrats are doing that, though. It does. If you have to like sit back and look at it, it does look that way.
I don't know. Again, for so many years, for decades, we weren't able to do certain things, hold certain positions.
Right.
So now, because we're getting an even playing field, like, okay, everybody's going to be equal. Like Germany, there'll be zero tolerance. No matter what you look like, your color, your skin, you can have this job. If you're qualified, you're qualified, you can have it. But before we couldn't get interviewed. He's not a good fit for this. So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I said, I mean, when you say Germany erased, that's why I push back on that word.
That part of history that
they have zero tolerance on what happened and will never happen again.
Right.
But I don't see that being America's objective. To say, hey, we want racism erased.
Well, they did implement certain laws of hate crimes and
right. So those are things we make some progress. But as far as the idea and concept of certain individuals that are going to be coming into power, I don't think that's their objective to have it set up in the sense of what you're explaining what happened with Germany.
Right.
So that's the only pushback I'm giving with the fact that you're saying you think it will be a good thing to eliminate teaching history. That's all. It's teaching. It's not, I mean, just because someone felt some kind of way, we have no proof of that either. This is what they said.
Right.
Oh, somebody felt some kind of way because they talked about slavery or this or that, and supposedly, hypothetically, somebody felt some kind of way. That's what they claim. I don't know who this somebody was. It was one kid or one parent. I don't want my child to learn nothing. They making him feel bad.
Right.
No, we're sharing this story. Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. Okay? Tom and Jerry.
You had a bunch of kids coming home crying. They said that I was a slave master.
But nobody never said that. Nobody said David was a slave master. They shared the information, and with a conscience, I guess they thought like, wow, this was bad. They were treating people just because they were
Be careful with that lighter.
Yeah, don't even mess with that, bro.
That blowtorch.
Yeah, that joint will kill you. That take all that hair out. Yeah, you'd be missing like maybe half of that joint be missing.
You won't have to worry about heating here no more.
Yeah. Just beat it.
Everybody be on fire.
Yeah, buddy.
Everybody on fire.
Drop and roll, man. Drop and roll. Drop and roll. So again, switch it up to so people know what we're talking about. So Skechers has this lighter that's very dangerous. I don't know why he has it. He turned it down to where he needed to keep it, but that's not good enough for him. He has a flamethrower.
Just to say, you ever go to a restaurant and somebody order a steak and it's still bloody? I take that just in case. You want to, toast up a little bit, burn that blood.
You don't need that particular long flame to do that. I can do that with my lighter. That is a dangerous piece of equipment. Either you need to keep that in your car and hopefully the coal will destroy it, or maybe just throw it off into the river like a gun. You know how I used to do back in the day when you used to have your little burners. You can do the same thing with that lighter.
All I need is some water and a cup and a metal cup, and we got tea.
Bro, no, it's
That'll
a
heat that cup
flamethrower.
up.
So I think you're missing that part. This thing is dangerous. A lighter can heat up. That is a flamethrower.
You just gotta
I
stand.
can sit right here and light it and hit him. Lighting right on up from this distance.
Well, you should be behind the lighter. You shouldn't be in front of it anyway.
Sir, that sounds good, but most cigar smokers, let's think about this. Yo, let me borrow your lighter, buddy. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem, buddy.
Stand behind it.
They don't have their lighter back here. They got the cigar in their mouth, and it's poof, their whole face done. You getting a lawsuit or involuntary manslaughter charge.
Damn.
It's going to be a civil charge somewhere or criminal. They're going to say if you knew about it, because they're going to bring all these people who saw you with this lighter and asked us on the stand, were you aware of this lighter being such a... Yeah, we told you not to let nobody use the John.
I'm just going to sue Timu. That's all. Yeah. I'm going to sue Timu.
Well, when you turned it down the first time, that little flame, that's all you needed. That's it. You said that wasn't good enough for whatever reason.
You said what? Lock it in place?
Yeah. Because where you got it now, it's still dangerous. You took it from a hoodlum in the hood, the gangsterism, to a hoodlum. Turn it down to the kids level.
Kids.
Turn it down to kids.
PG?
Kid friendly.
PG. Yeah.
No, G.
G?
Rated G. Not even PG. Take that down to G for a general audience. Because right now, that thing is dangerous, bro. That is dangerous, man.
What you smoking? What you smoking today, man?
Oh, he got the basin.
Oh,
okay, let me ask this question.
oh.
Okay, sir, we're going to ask this question. We just had a quick conversation about the basin. Did you purchase the basin from here? Do you recall the price? If you would you like to share what the price was? How much? $16.22. That's an odd number. $16.22. So close to $17. Like I said, this thing is basically almost a $17 stick. When it first came out, it was like $9. It was $109 for a box. Y'all remember that?
I'm gonna go on a limb. And say it's $18 in New York City.
It's more than that, bro.
I'm gonna go on a limb.
Y'all tobacco tax is gangster like West Coast, like the California tobacco tax. That cigar price $20-something in New York City.
And they look at you for that second stick like hard, son. Like they really want you to just buy the 2 sticks when you walk in. Don't even think about sitting down with that 1 stick. Go get your 2 and don't even sit down yet.
Speaking of New York, what is going on with this congestion toll? What is this bullshit? What the hell is that? Come on, man. Y'all just making money, bro.
Man,
how's that going to stop congestion? Hey, it's going to be the same amount of cars coming over. They stop.
But now we can. Now instead they can build new train system.
All right, they just
Bridges,
making money. Let's keep it
bridges.
real. It's a money grab. It's a money grab. Ain't gonna stop no congestion. Ain't nobody saying, well, you know what? I ain't driving no more. Stop. The same cars that's coming over there. Now you're gonna make money off of them.
Well, now they want to pump up the subway with more cops.
So it's a money grab.
Right.
Okay. This ain't got nothing to do with
course
congestion. Let's stop with the playing with the words, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a play of words. It's a play of words.
Oh, it's congestion.
I don't know why it's so high though.
Because they're gonna rob y'all like they do everything else over in New York, man. It's New York. This is what
I just posted. Like about 2 hours ago, I posted a shortcut. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a shortcut. And,
shortcut about what? How to avoid it?
No.
Oh.
You almost got me.
I'm gonna tell you what's been going on. Folks been manipulating their tags, tape, paint, bending the tag.
No, but I guess I could tell people how to manipulate. There's actually a just type in getting around the and it pop up. You actually got to go through a parking lot, and you can actually manipulate the.
Now, how soon you think this parking lot go before this gets shut down? They had the barriers that should have been in New Orleans up in this parking lot. Well, nobody can be able to go through the parking lot.
Hey, if you can get 3-4 days out of it, you save what, $50?
That ain't gonna happen. They already did that.
Nah.
Done.
Because it's a private. It's private. You're going to a private establishment. Now that parking lot could charge you.
Ooh.
They can charge you.
52 fake out. 52 fake out.
They could charge you $3 just to come through.
Yeah, they ain't gonna last long, buddy. Anything that's going to bypass that. It was originally, I heard, $15 some years ago because this idea,
yeah,
brand new.
Yeah.
My understanding.
Yeah, they tried it, and it was
$15.
only a certain area. They wasn't going to do the Brooklyn Bridge or the Manhattan Bridge and the Williamsburg Bridge. They were just going to do certain
How much
areas.
is that? Okay, so it's my understanding that you can go through there 4 times a day on that one payment.
Yes,
4 times. Bro, that's
that's expensive.
that's the whole point. How much is that a month? I ain't got my calculator right, but damn,
That's expensive.
$9 if you got to work 5 days a week. That's crazy. You work at the hospital, you're a patient, you got to get dialysis, now you got to pay this. This is crazy, bro. What are y'all doing in New York, man?
And if they force you to get on the train, you get on the train.
Nobody want to get on them dirty trains, bro. Come on, son. Your trains ain't right. Come on, son.
We just, we had that burning and the pushing.
You got all
and,
kind of stuff going on them trains, man.
But it's still one of the safest form of transportation in the world.
Yeah, okay.
I know it sounds weird, but it's still the most safest transportation.
It said the same thing
in
about the
world.
plane. The plane is most safest. Okay, so now you're saying train. That's not including get smacked in your mouth. So just because you don't die, don't mean you ain't getting smacked in the mouth or shot in the back or stabbed in the neck. So I don't know about define safe. You still may get hurt, but you might live. That's what you're saying.
What a probability.
How many cops down there? Because that's a whole different department.
Right. I was transit.
Yeah, that's a whole
I was a
different
transit.
department.
I was transit cop. I think we had maybe 3,000, maybe. Half might be. So you might have 1,500 cops patrolling the train system. 1,500.
So would it be safe to say that if one riding on the train would normally, forget the word normally, you're going to see a cop every day?
No.
That's my whole point. That's
You'll see one every other day.
But there you go. That's a problem. That is a problem.
We got cameras.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll get you later on.
How about the victim? That's not helping the victim now. They laid up in the hospital somewhere busted up.
Well, hopefully when you see
money's missing.
everybody's getting caught. So hopefully that that stems things down a little bit. When you know you go in there and you get caught, every time somebody go in there and do something, they get caught. So it
lies. Lies right now before the people. You telling everybody on the train who robbing jokers out there is getting caught. This man sketches his lying to y'all right now.
It was terrible. It was terrible back in the day. Look at the crime rate. The crime rate has dropped.
I understand that, but guess what? There's a whole lot of victims still out there. And now they want to rob the people. You drive in the car, they want to charge you $9 and such cents to cross over this stinking, to come into this stinking Manhattan, and they tell me it's going to stop congestion.
Crime dropped.
I understand. I'll give you that. But
crime dropped because it dropped. Yeah, of course it dropped. Yeah.
But I'm still
too many cameras.
Come on, man.
Who's that? But they getting caught. They catching them. Nah, they care.
But you the victim.
They trying to get away.
Yeah, you don't give two hot dams. Okay, I'm the victim laid out here. Oh, well, they might catch him. But that's going to make me feel better.
But do you know how many people ride the trains?
Yes.
Millions of people ride the train, and you get a couple of burns, couple of pushes.
Whoa. That's very insensitive here on Smoke World Power. I mean,
talk about 1 million people riding the train, and you got
the opinions of the guests 4 or 5 casualties. Podcast. Yeah, but I need to put a disclaimer on that. Whoa, wait a minute there.
You got a couple of casualties. You got 1 million people riding the train. You get a couple of casualties. When you blow those casualties, it's still the probability.
Wow. At that moment, I'm shutting it down. At this
the probability.
You about to get us kicked off the podcast world.
That's like people saying
and everything.
Delaware is the safest. Delaware seems safe.
But nobody never said Delaware is the safest anything.
But yeah, people say Delaware is safe. I never hear nothing about Delaware. You know, people I heard that. I never hear nothing about Delaware. Y'all ain't got serial killers. Y'all ain't got high craft murderers over there. Y'all ain't got. So on paper, we look like a good state. And that's on paper. MTA look like a good transportation to ride. And so you got to I'd rather live in Delaware than live in Chicago. I'd rather ride the trains in NYPD in that city than ride in Chicago's L train. I'm sorry.
We're going to pray for him.
Would you ride the trains in Chicago?
I'd ride anywhere, bro. I'm a gangster.
But don't push me.
Don't push me too far. I might.
But it's safe to what it is. It is. I'm not gonna lie, man. You at one time, man. Transit police officers was the best cops in the world.
At one time.
Yeah,
they ain't like that no more. So you're taking up and justifying this BS with this $9 and some change.
No, that's
based on the fact that you're trying to say
Oh,
ride the
it's
train.
that's the worst thing
because it's the safest.
That is the worst thing I've seen in New York City do.
Yeah, bro. Y'all need to work on that.
Yeah, it's too late.
Y'all need to. Yeah,
it's too late.
You're right.
It's
well,
too
Trump
late.
said he's going to get rid of it. Trump said he's going to get rid of it. So we're going to say, hey, listen, man. I'm just the guy who report the news. I'm not trying to be the news. That's what Trump said. He was going to get rid of it.
Well, that's why they was trying to delay it for him to come in, but they pushed it before he got in there.
Well, we'll
so
see.
now to override state, that's hard.
Well, listen, man.
That's hard to override state.
He said
these are court documents that says this is happening.
In the room. He the biggest dick in the room. He said, "Yo, guess what? Yeah, he gonna do that dance. YMCA, get rid of it today. YMCA." So
if
boom.
he gets rid of this,
y'all can breathe again. Breathe again. Breathe
now,
again.
at the same time, would I, if I was him?
He from New York, remember?
Right, but he lost his state.
He don't. Well, that's true.
He lost that
He's
state.
petty like that. He's petty like that.
No, it's the same. No,
Yeah,
there's certain areas that's $15 I saw.
No. Originally, it was going to be 50. This proposal
it dropped down
came
to
out
9
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So it dropped down to 9.
Yeah, so it was only $9.
Yeah, that's part of the congestion.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So,
how much?
yeah, it's all different fees. Motorcycles are like $4.
Right.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's classifications to this thing. It's definitely different classifications based on passenger vehicles, commercial, motorcycles. They're gonna probably charge the bikes too. Robbing everybody, brother. But look, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up, bro. I mean, how can we, follow what you got going on, man?
Same thing, man. www.rockandrawproductions.com. I got everything all your elements you can get off my website now. I think I got all elements. I got cancer, pain, menstrual cramps, sleep, ADHD. I got beauty products for hair.
You're gonna like Blue Chew pills?
Yes, I have natural remedies now.
Now, okay, for the manhood.
For the man, yeah.
Keep your pelvic right.
Right.
So you get the stress.
If you have a strong pelvis, and some CBD to keep that heart down,
you good.
Good.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
yeah.
Lovely. That's lovely.
It's all about the stroking.
That's what they said, man. Don't make no babies, though, bro. Don't make no babies. Smoke World Podcast.
Oh, child support went up.
Oh, well, I don't hear nothing about that.
Yeah, child support went up in New York. So, yeah.
Curse words, claim, beep, beep, beep. I don't hear nothing about child support.
So, bag it up, y'all. Bag it up.
Yeah, don't
in New York City, bag it up. And it's 21 years old. In New York.
Yeah, it's always been 21. Y'all
and they raised it, so, yeah. So.
Oh, damn. Woo-hoo. Sweet Jesus. Listen, take care of your kids or don't make no kids. It's one or the other. It's that easy. Smoke World Podcast, IG, Smoke World Podcast, Facebook, email stone@smokeworldpodcast.com, and the website smokeworldpodcast.com. And guess what, people? We thank you for listening. If you didn't tell your cousin or your brother that
share it,
the man has the ED pills and all this other stuff for your grandma and your pop, do that right now. So we will check y'all out on the other side. We're gonna do what? Peace out. Have a nice day. And yo, we doing this weekly.
Oh, for the women too.
Yeah. What they got for the women?
The same stuff. I got the same stuff for women,
okay.
Men and women.
All right, yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
God gonna bless them. Peace and love.
All right.
Peace.
It's the Smoke World Podcast. It's time to talk about what's happening, baby. So run, don't crawl. It's the Smoke World Podcast.